Hi there, I'm Juliana Avalar, the inventor of the Jewel Loom, and today I want to show you how to properly insert the metal rod into the loom. So when I'm working with the Jewel Loom, I always have it in this straight up and down position right in front of me on top of a bead mat. So the part of the grooves are closest to my body, and the other set of grooves are always furthest from my body. Now to insert the rod, what I'm going to do, and this metal rod comes with your Jewel Loom, I'm going to take the bottom part of the rod, insert it into that bottom hole that's closest to my body, and then very gently bow up towards me, bring the loom towards me, and snap in. And that's exactly how you insert the rod. And as you can see, it creates this really nice warp so that when I am creating my warps, they're going to be nice and tight. Now, one little tip here that I want to talk to you about, and I'm just going to move this out of the photo here, bring in my metal rod, and let's see. So you see these two little points right here? If you were to try to insert the rod and it wasn't grabbing on, or maybe it popped out, it could be that one of the ends here is not exactly bent in enough, okay? So what you would do is you would take your flat nose pliers and very so gently, and I mean really it's like just a hair, and I'm gonna do 2 hairs. There we go. And all that does is it bends it in a little bit more so that when it needs to make that connection into the 2 holes, it's nice and tight, like the one, and I'll just bring this back in, like the one that we just created right here. In fact, let me show you its bottom, because then you can see those 2 ends coming out of the back holes. So it's really important that after you create your warp threads, that you remove the metal rod. This is going to create an expansion of the loom, and then your warp threads will become more tight. Now, the way that I remove the rod is I hold it up to my belly, and this is just easy for me. I remove that top part of the rod first, and then you can see right there how it really expanded. And you hear their warps? They should always sound like a little strumming of guitar. Isn't that cool? Now, you might be thinking, well, Jules, is there ever a time where I don't remove the rod? And I'm going to show you that right now. So this is a piece that I've been working on for, quite frankly, several months now, because I'm still sitting with it and I'm deciding ultimately what I want to do with it. So I took a pair of old jeans and I stripped them into long pieces and I used them as my warps. Now, because the jean material is so flimsy, I chose to keep the rod in, because had I taken it out, it just would have gone flat because there's so much give in this particular material. The same would go for like a really stretchable ribbon or anything else that might be other than a cording or a beading thread. So you always want to make sure that if you're working with a traditional thread like wildfire or Nymo or leather cording, that you remove the rod. It's really important.